Yes, 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 Siddesh.
Okay, madam, we'll begin now.
Yes, yes, Siddesh. Yes. Yeah.
Good morning, one and all present over here. I, Dr. Siddesh MB, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, welcome all the delegates from Karnataka and across the state to this national webinar on Introduction to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, which is organized by the Department of Computer Science. Now, I request our beloved principal, Dr. Uma V. Nele, Madam, welcome the gathering. Madam, over.
Thank you, Siddesh. Good morning to all. I, Dr. Uma Nele, Principal of KLE Society, Arts College and HSK Science, comes all the dignitary participant delegates of all over the country. Proud to say that our institution is one among 270 institutions of our esteemed KLE Society Belgavi. KLE Society Belgavi was established in 1916 by 7 dedicated and highly educated eternal visionary Saptarshis. The seat of education sown by these visionaries has grown into the Asia's best consortium with many traditional and professional institutions under unique leadership and unflinching determination of Dr. Prabhakar B. Kore, Chairman, KLE Society. Our college is affiliated to Karnataka University, Dharwad, and it has been accredited by the NAAC in third phase with the CGPA 3.18. We are offering more than 17 courses in undergraduate program and 1 course in PG program. Our alumni has sprawled over the world. From the inception of our college, the college is honored with many gold medalists and university views. Our institute is a participating institute of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan of MHI. During these pandemic situations, where the teachers and the students and all stakeholders are away from each other, the webinar series creates a common platform to bring all the minds together and boost the morale of the teachers, students, and stakeholders nationwide. In this regard, the KLE Societies, SK Arts and HSK Science Institute organized a national webinar series which is scheduled from 10th July to the 23rd July, and today it is our last session of national webinar, that is the 17th session, with the aim of achieving the quality and the sustainability through the human development. The national webinar on science, humanities, and social science will serve as a national platform for the exchange of knowledge and experiences on key human development issues, contributing towards promoting social empowerment at the national level. We are proud to say that all the 17 sessions, from 16 sessions, we got the delegates, research scholars, and academicians from all over the state. And today, we have the Computer Science Department organizing a national webinar on artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is the need of the hour. And today, we have the research person, the Dr. Praveen Hanchna, professional speaker from KLE's management, SK Arts, HSK Science Institute, Hubli, teaching and non-teaching staff and menial staff. We wholeheartedly welcome to this national webinar, sir. Welcome, sir. At the same time, I welcome all the and participants for this national webinar. And I request all the participants and delegates to be active in the whole live webinar and we participate in discussion forum renowned resource person Dr. Praveen Hanchinar. Thank you, Siddhesha. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Now, I request the HOD of the Computer Science and convener of today's national webinar, Sri M.V. Shettar sir, to introduce the guest speaker of the today's webinar. Shettar sir, over to you.
Thank you, Siddhesh sir. Today, I am going to introduce the guest speaker, Mr. Praveen Hanchinar sir. Praveen Hanchinar sir has completed his BSc degree in Kittle Science College, Dharwad in 2009, and he has completed MSc Computer Science from Karnataka University, Dharwad in 2011. Praveen Hanchinar sir is professionally qualified and highly skilled, experienced educator, professional speaker on artificial intelligence and IoT, that is the Internet of Things, cloud and big data. And he has been working on cloud, big data and IoT and artificial intelligence technologies from last 7 years. With his extensive knowledge and skills, had worked as a team lead, assistant professor, and trainer. He has trained around 10,000 plus people, which includes teachers, students, corporates, and government audience on recent technologies. He is known for his great presentation skills and sense of humor. His analogical explanation make the audience to understand complex concepts in a simplest way. He has given various keynotes, addresses, seminars, conducting a workshop for students, faculty, industry, and general audience. In short, he is an entrepreneur in artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, cloud, big data, and open source evangelist. Some of the following representative samples of such talks of Mr. Praveen Hanchinar sir is, he has been a resource person on blogging of educators workshop held at MIT Academy Engineering College, Pune on February 13, 2020. He has been as a resource person on big data and deep learning, a 3-day faculty development program workshop held at MVJ College of Engineering, Whitefield, Bangalore. He has been a resource person as on IoT Node MCU sessions, that is a 2-day workshop held at SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. He has been a resource person on artificial intelligence and machine learning, that is, how it is useful to government departments organized by APHRD, that is, Andhra Pradesh Human Resource Development, BAPTIA, Government of Andhra Pradesh, India, on April from 1st to 4th, 2018. He has been a resource person on AICTE sponsored national seminar on generation towards IoT model and cyber security for the internet environment, Kangnu Engineering College, Erodi, Tamil Nadu, India, from November 9 to 10, 2017. So in this way, he has been organized so many functions as a resource person, as a faculty development programmer, and in many areas. With this, I conclude the introduction of our chief guest, Mr. Praveen Hanchinar sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Shettar sir. Now the technical session is going to begin. I request all the participants to mute your audio as well as video for a better bandwidth. I request Praveen Hanchinal sir, educator, professional speaker, to begin with the presentation, sir. Sir, you can share the screen and start your presentation, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'll begin now.
Sure.
I hope you can see my screen, sir.
Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay. Morning, everybody. So today we'll be discussing about artificial intelligence. It's one of the most promising technologies in recent days. I request the organizers to mute the annotations from your side. I request organizers to mute the annotations as well as audio and video.
Yes, sir. It has been done, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So I shall go ahead. So today we'll be discussing about artificial intelligence. So these are some recommended settings for the better viewing experience of this webinar. So first thing is set brightness to the maximum. If you have on phone, then keep phone rotation on, keep it in landscape mode, turn your mic video off. Use of headphones is recommended. Okay, so I'm into a lot of things. Okay, I'm into entrepreneur, innovator, and I'm into cloud, big data, and all. So the best thing is you can just Google up my name. So once you Google up, you'll get my website. So once you get into website, you can learn more about me. So today, let's see what you'll be learning. So you'll be learning about what is AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Then why artificial intelligence now is taking a lot of hype. Then how to play with artificial intelligence models. I'll show you some demos. Then how machine learning and deep learning are performed. Okay. Then artificial intelligence in relations to IoT and big data. Then application of artificial intelligence. Then challenges and dangers of the artificial intelligence. Okay. So first thing is, let's see whether actually you are using artificial intelligence. As you can see, in the phones in 2005, were not taking a more glamorous photo of you than today. For example, a phone of today will make you feel like you are like actor or actress itself. So that is because artificial intelligence are boosting your photo in such a way that it will like make you feel like you are actor or actress. That's the reason like most of teenagers are into Instagram, like those kind of things. So your photos are getting better day by day. Then I hope some of you have enabled the Gmail understanding of your what actually you are typing. The moment you type something and hit a tab on your laptop, suddenly Gmail automatically completes. Say, for example, if you say thank you, it will just complete it as thank you, regards, and enter your name also. So that's also there. Then it will predict what you're gonna write also. Then are you able to watch YouTube videos in any language? Say, for example, if you are watching hacking video in Russian, so you should be able to watch it in English subtitles. So that's also possible. So that's because of AI. Then whether your phone is predicting what you're gonna type. So that, for example, like even if you type it in Kannada also, it is predicting now. See, for example, if you say if you type like, instead of typing I, if you type Nane, Nane, so Nane Bartideni. So if you use this word continuously for like around a week, it will predict the next word automatically, because this is called federated learning in artificial intelligence. Then is your camera detecting everything? So for example, if you use something called Google Lens, that will like help you do a lot of things. Okay, so you can just go out and try it. Okay, so first thing is, let's understand what is AI. Okay, so if you Google this up term, you will get a huge Wikipedia page of around I think 10-12 pages. Very difficult to read, very difficult to understand. Even I took around 6 months to understand what actually simply it is. Okay, so the point is, artificial intelligence is very simple. It's a science of intelligent programs. We'll see what is this intelligent programming is. You have straightforward programming. Whatever programming you have been doing these days is straightforward programming. So now we are talking about intelligent programs. Actually, you are giving instructions in programming way, but these programs will become intelligent now. So that's the point. Then what actually this AI is about is it will contain something called neural networks. So it's called the brain of AI. So that means you have something called input layer, then you have something called hidden layer, then you have something called output layer. So this will be the picture. Okay, so let's see in detail what this is. This is how neuron look like. So a lot of mathematics involved, some weights, a function. Okay, so this is similar to your neuron in your brain. On the right hand side, you can see you have something called neuron. It will contain something called dendrites. It will connect. So if a person's memory is very strong, that is because his neurons are more connected. That like that. So here in artificial intelligence, if a model is very strong, that means there are a lot of interconnection between the neurons. Okay, so that's what neural networks is all. So this is how it is about maths plus biology. Like this is called cell body synapse. So some weights are located. Very complicated stuff to understand because it contains statistics, mathematics, biology, and all. So I don't need to understand to get started the artificial intelligence. I'll promise you that without knowing all these things, you can get started. Okay, so let's see it in a very like glamorous way now. So suppose you have like camera and you want to detect whether a camera is detecting whether it has to find out or like something is standing before it, whether it is a cat or dog. So what actually happens is how you will detect a cat. So cat will have something called like fur, like it will have tails, it has like nose. Okay, even dog has that. The difference is cat is having different characteristics. The length of the ear, the nose type. Okay, so it is different in dog, it is different in cat. So what actually we'll do is we'll fed hundreds of images of dog, it will fed hundreds of images of cat. So that will be fed to neural networks. So this will find out what's the characteristics of each one. Okay, so once it is done, it will refine it itself. Then it will find out finally when you are having a model, it will once you show the image of any cat, it will detect it as cat at the end. So we shall see this in a demo. Okay, I'll give that. Then if I have to go more technical, so this is how we will detect whether a particular cell is cancerous or not. Okay, so we'll take consideration of morphology, height, stiffness. Okay, so a little bit of more biology involved here, but the idea is what actually the blue stuffs are here with the arrow marks are computer science. Okay, so we'll take input from biology, we'll put it in computer science, then we'll detect whether it is a cancerous or not. Okay, so then why now? So this is a very interesting question, because you have to understand why AI has come very long back. Like in 1980s, it was there, but like now it is taking hype. Okay, so you can see this is called something called Gartner cycle. Okay, so you can see on the top, like this deep learning, machine learning, and artificial intelligence are on the top. So this is in 2017, and if you look at the Gartner cycle of 2019 also, so you can see that. I request organizers to mute the annotations or kindly find out someone who is doing that and like block him. Okay, I'll continue. So this is something called Gartner cycle. So this is from 2019. Again, you can see like AI and related to AI technologies are on very top. Okay, so that means like things are getting like on the top of all the technologies. Machine learning, deep learning, as well as artificial intelligence are always on the top. Okay. So then next important thing is why we need AI is the answer is very plain and simple. I know it like it may offend people, but we need intelligence because people are stupid and lazy. See, for example, someone will not pull a door which is being like pushed, like so they will get confused with a push and pull door. Okay, so you need remote because like you don't want to like get into TV and switch it on and off like that. Okay, so then so for example, like even if you introduce a smart door, people may not like, still get confused also. So the point is. Because of people's stupidity also we need technology so that like a lot of problems can be solved. Then again, if you ask why we need smart cars, why we need self-driving cars, you can see the person who is like finding it very difficult to drive that car into the parking lot, something like that. Okay, so this is one example. Okay, so the next interesting phenomenon like why we need a AI is population. Population is one of the biggest problem in our country. Okay, so population create problems. Okay, so it will create problems in terms of food facility, healthcare, comfort. Okay, because of this corona, and understand healthcare has become of prime importance, and it's creating problem because there's a lot of population. We can control it because of the population. So then another point is corporate always makes money by solving the problems which has been created by population. Okay, so this is how corporate makes money. Okay, then you have something called human brain limitations, and like if you look at our brains, to certain extent you can do everything, but beyond your limitations. If for example, if you have to remember the context of a whole phone, it's like hardly impossible. Like for example, I have around 7,000 plus contacts. Okay, so it becomes very hard for me to remember whose name is like associated with what number. Okay, so we have limitations. Now I expect that my phone should take care of that. I want my artificial intelligence to they take care of those kind of things. Okay, so then always boredom and fatigue is always there. That will lead to errors. People are lazy, people are bored, and if you give the same work again and again for them, that will lead to error. You can see in government offices and all, your name is always being mistyped, your name is always being like mispronounced, something like that, because they are bored of that like stuff. So now if a machine replaces them, that will becomes easy for us to do that. Okay, so the solution is to make machines learn. Okay, then comes how to make the machine learn, that is machine learning. So you should understand machine learning, that is we have to make the machines learn. We should not give instructions, we have to make them learn. Okay, so let me give you a small example. So I will take a little more time for this, because if you understand this, it will become easy for you to understand artificial intelligence. So here I am assuming that you know a little bit about computers, like that computer is also a machine. Okay. So imagine our computer is a small baby. Okay. So I want you this to be interactive. Okay. So I shall open my chart also. Okay. Okay. So you can raise your hands, something like that. Okay. So what actually happens is we have this something called computer, which is a baby computer, we can understand. Okay, so what I want is this is not artificial intelligence powered baby. Okay, understand, this is a very basic computer which you use. Okay, so it's not artificial intelligence powered, it's not. Okay, so it's a normal baby, normal computer baby. Okay, so what actually happens is I want this computer to go and take some money, 100 rupees, something like that, and it has to go to the shop. Okay, it has to get me a Oreo biscuit, like that. Okay, so imagine the price of that Oreo biscuit is around 10 rupees, you can say. Okay, so I have given 100 rupees to this computer, it has to go to this shop, it has to get me a Oreo biscuit, and it is of 10 rupees. Okay, so now the question comes is, let us see whether you understand this point or not. What actually happens is, if shop is open, okay, there is no problem at all, because the computer will go and ask him that I need a Oreo biscuit. He will give the Oreo biscuit, and it will get back there with a bundle. Okay, now the question comes whether the computer, the baby computer, will get the change or not. Okay, so I want you to be interactive. Kindly put it in the like yes or no. I'll just look into the chat. Okay, you just have to raise your hands. So if you are agreeing with this, just raise your hands. If you are not agreeing, you don't need to raise your hands. So what actually my question is, this computer has given 100 rupees just to shopkeeper. Okay, it has got its biscuit bundle, but whether it will take the 90 rupees change provided to the given whether it will take back the 90 rupees change from the shopkeeper, yes or no? If yes, raise your hands. Okay, I'm just waiting for another 10 seconds. Okay, done. So what actually the point is, I can see like a lot of participants have raised their hands. So the answer is very interesting. Let me tell you. Okay, so don't get offended. Okay, so it's an interactive session. Okay, the point here is It's a baby computer. I told you, it's not a artificial intelligence powered computer. It's just a computer. Okay. So what actually happens is I have given it 100 rupees, but I have not told the computer, I have not given the instruction that you should get the change back. Okay. So if it is a good computer, it will go to the shop. Okay. So it will take the biscuit bundle. It will leave the change with the shopkeeper. The why this happens is we have not instructed the machine to take the change back. If you have written that code, it will take the change back. Okay. So now the next part. Imagine there is a manhole. Okay. So this manhole is dug. Okay. This baby computer has walked towards the shop. Okay. While coming back, going, it was not a problem because all the path was very clear and it went to the shop. Okay. While coming back, it was walking towards back to your home. Now this manhole has been created suddenly, that like some JCB has dug some pit like that. Okay. So now the question is whether this computer will fall into the pit or whether it will jump it. Okay. So if you think it will jump, raise your hands. Okay, fine. So I'll just give you the answer now. So the point here is this machine will go towards the shop. While coming back, this pit has been dug. Okay. See, the point is, again, we have not given the instructions that if there is something obstruction on the road. So for example, if there is a pit, if there is a manhole, you should jump it. We have not given this instruction. If it is a good computer, it will fall into the pit. If it is a good computer, understand this. If it is a good computer, it should fall into the pit because it should do only things which I have instructed to do. It's very interesting. This is the point. Okay. So now the point comes is you may be thinking, Acha sir told something like this, the computer should fall into the pit. So now how to make this computer like not to fall into the pit is you have to make it AI powered. That is, you have to give some artificial intelligence with our instructions that if there is something obstruction on the road, find it what it is. If you can, jump it and come back to the home like that. Okay. So even this same rule applies for if the shop is closed also. Okay. So let's see in detail what actually this is. So these are the two different arenas. Okay. So traditional programming, what actually we are doing is we had something called data. Okay. So we have something called program. So we have the computer. So 2 plus 2, you have logic, then you will get the output as 4. In machine learning, it's reverse. Okay. What actually you know is we actually know the output that is 4. Okay. So what I will do is I'll give 2 plus 2 and I'll tell the answer is 4. The computer has to figure it out that the mathematical operation is plus. I hope you got it. Okay. So here what actually happens is you have data and program 2 plus 2, give them the plus sign, the answer is 4. Here it is reverse. I know I'll give a input as 2 plus 2, the output is 4. I'll tell this. Then the computer has to figure it out that the operation here used is plus, that is addition. Okay, so that's the idea. So this is the difference between traditional machine learning. I'll give another example. Say for example, you have to teach high jump. Okay, so you give them the bar, you give them the how to jump, they will jump, somebody jumps out of it. So that's the normal thing. So in machine learning, what actually happens is tell them like you have to jump it. Okay, so then I'll give them the pole also. Okay, so what actually happens is he has to decide how he has to jump. Here we'll tell how he has to jump. Here it has to figure it on itself that how to jump. Okay, so that's the idea. So I'll give some more example. So again, here we have answers, then we have data, then it has to figure out the rules, that is the logic. So once we do this, we have something called model. Okay, so you give the data, then it will do the predictions for you. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky. We'll see more in examples. So why machine learning for daily life? Okay, so the first thing, how you actually code. Okay, so I'm going a little bit programmatic because it is based on computer science itself and hosted by computer science department. So walking, how you write the code? If the speed is less than 4, like status equal to walking. So if speed is less than 4, status equal to walking, else we can say he is running. Okay, so suppose if the speed is less than 4, or else if speed is less than 12, then that is running, or else it is spiking like that. So you can write code for this. Okay. What if it is golf? You cannot write straightforward code like this. Okay. So in golf, what actually happens is you don't know how to write, because he will swing the hands, he will move the legs. It's totally complicated. Okay. So that's what golf is all about. This is where machine learning comes into action. See, for example, you can see if I put it in binary. So if this is a binary, it is working. If it is a binary, it is running. If it is a binary, it is spiking. So now, if the binaries are like this, somewhat it is sort of golfing. Okay, so that's is how your wrist bands, like we have something called smart bands, how come into the, like you are using in real life. So they will do something like this only. So they will understand by the number of zeros and ones. So now there are again three different words. Like I'll make it very simple for you, because if you Google this up, there will be hundreds of millions of pages. You will not understand it. So I'll try to make it very simple for you. What is artificial intelligence? If a human intelligence is exhibited by machines. Okay. So for example, if there is a car coming on the road, if I'm on the road, so I'll, like, say for example, if I'm driving the car, if somebody comes before the car, I'll stop the car. That is human intelligence. That should be exhibited by the machines. Okay. What is machine learning is, it's an approach to do AI. So it's an approach. It's not the only approach. Like it's a way of doing the things artificial. What actually deep learning is? Deep learning is you like, it's a technique. Okay. What actually happens in deep learning is, it's a technique for implementing machine learning. So these are like subsets. Okay, so big set, subset, and subset. Okay, so the deep learning is a technique. So machine learning is an approach. You should understand this. I'll share this presentation later. You can have a look at it. Okay, so here comes the big part. So you can see like deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, like is a superset. Okay, so now I'll give you an example for this to understand. Okay, so I'll give very simple examples so that you can understand. Okay, imagine you have a car. Okay, so the car is self-driving car. Okay, so there is no driver in it. That's important. Okay, self-driving car, like Google has announced it, Tesla has announced it. Soon cars will come into your picture. Okay, so what actually happens is, if there is a hump, okay, so the car will slow down. If there is a hump, the car will slow down. If somebody comes before the car will slow down. There is no driver in the car. You should understand this. So if that happens, that is called artificial intelligence. What actually happens in machine learning is, suppose there is a hump. Okay, so the car was moving. Suddenly, car was not able to brake properly. It jumped to the like hump. Okay, so now because of the bump, the car understands that this is not the speed I should go over the hump. Okay, so that will happen in machine learning. So machine learning, if you keep on driving, like let that self-driving car to go into the cities, it will understand daily. If you are moving by that same road, it will understand daily what is the speed I should go, so that hump will not create a bump. Okay, so it should not like hurt the people inside the car. So first it will go in 10 kilometer speed, then 20, 15, like that. It will experiment. So that is how machine learning is. So it will learn based on the height of the hump. That is machine learning. Artificial intelligence, hump comes, slow down the car. That is. Then in deep learning, it is very interesting. See, imagine whole of the Hubli, whole of like Karnataka is self-driving cars. So what actually happens is, a car in Chennama circle knows how to move the humps. Okay, so there is another car which is coming from Bangalore. Okay, so it does not know humps in the Chennama circle. So what actually happens is, this car which is there in Chennama circle will send the data to the car in the Bangalore, so that it is coming towards Hubli, and it should understand these are all the humps and this is how we should move. And these all cars, like imagine there are 10 lakhs of cars, they together will decide how to communicate with each other. Then they will decide, okay, so how to move and all. So that's all it is about deep learning. So if they together, they will collect the data and they will learn themselves. That is deep learning. Machine learning, little bit like subset of that. Then artificial intelligence is the final output. Okay, so I hope this was clear for you. Okay, so then we'll see steps in machine learning, how to do this. Okay, so I'll just open my speaker notes so that you can understand. So the point here is, if you have to train the machine learning, what are the steps? Okay, so again, I'll give you an analogy so that you can understand this also. Okay, so the first point is, choose the data set. Now I'll give a task for you, what actually you should do in machine learning. Okay, we have to teach a kid Okay, so imagine we have a 2-year, 3-year-old kid, and we have to teach the kid that how fire hurts. Like if it holds for the fire, it will hurt. Okay, so how to do that in machine learning? First thing is you have to choose the data set. Okay, so you can see in my speaker notes what actually it can be the data set to teach the teachers like babies here is you can get a candle, you can get a fire stick, you can get a cigarette, you can have a agarbatti, and these are all become your data set. Okay, so anything which burns. Okay, so if you hold it, if it burns, that will become your data set. Then you have to clean it. There are a lot of things which will burn and hurt you. Okay, so you have to select only those things which will be like suitable for kids. So that's agarbatti, candle, and cigarette, those kind of things. Okay, even cigarette can be excluded. So that is the second part. That is you massage and clean the things. Okay, so you have whole data, then you massage and clean it, take only minimal data, then split it into training and test set. Okay, so for example, exclude the candle, take only cigarette, then agarbatti, and some like long stick with the fire. Okay, so these will become your training set and test set. Now what actually you have to do is apply the algorithm, how to make that kid learn. Okay, what you can do is, one thing is very straightforward, the algorithm to make the kid understand that fire hurts is to set the kid on the fire itself, throw some petrol on it and burn the kid. It will understand. Anyhow, it will die, but think logically. Okay. So that's not the idea. Okay. So now we have to make it understand in a very simpler way. So the next algorithm is give agarbatti, cigarette, and like things which will catch fire. It will give it to him, and it will hold it for some time. If it hurts, it will understand. Acha, this is how fire hurts. And meanwhile, if you keep on giving things like this, that kid will understand that anything which is in yellow or reddish yellow, it will hurt. Okay. So the next time when you hand over him a candle, if the candle is lit, okay, so it will have fire on the top. So instantly, if he has learned it properly, if the algorithm is fine, if the kid is fine, definitely it will avoid the candle because it hurts. That's what like training and test set. Okay, so then score and evaluate. How will you score? Like check whether it is whatever training you are doing for the kid is working fine. Suppose hurt him, like burn him. If it burns, if it screams, scream, score value is 1. Okay, so if it does not scream, suppose if you hurt him, if he smiles, okay, again evaluate it, -1 +1, like that. So if you keep on evaluating, that is how we do the steps in machine learning. Again, I'll come to this, I'll give you an example. Okay, so very simple. Again, I am differentiating without machine learning and with machine learning. If you follow the rules of the RTO to drive the vehicle, that will becomes like it is without machine learning. That is, very specific instructions are given to you by the RTO. Okay, so what actually RTO has told you, drive on the left side of the road. If the hump comes, slow down. Okay, so speed, ride in 30 kilometers per speed, like that. So those are the instructions. You will be following the rules of the RTO and you will be safe, no problem for you. That is what like you learned by instructions. Imagine there is no RTO at all. Okay, so now somebody has bought a new bike and he does not know like no rules and all. What he will do, he will ride in any way. Like you can see some teenagers will do, like they will ride on the right side of the road. Okay, so they will move in zigzag. Once he gets accidented, okay, once he gets accidented, he will understand that he should not ride on the right side of the road. That's the point. Okay, I hope you are understanding. With machine learning, you will let him experiment. He will learn by actions. Here he will follow the rules and he will go according to the rules of the RTO. That's the point. Okay, then how machine learning works. Okay, so again, GIF for you so that you can understand it. First thing, you have training data, that candle and all. Okay, then train the algorithm. Okay, so model, give the input data. So once it is there, apply some algorithms, then do the prediction. If the prediction is right and if everything is working fine, then you have successful model. If it is not, again retry, like that. Okay, so we'll do this one. So let's see this in action. I'll show you in real time how it works and all. So the tool I'm using called something called teachable machine. Okay, so I'll meanwhile for like I'll be switching to the other tabs so that you can see what actually I'm doing. Okay, so kindly like I request the organizers, if everything is working fine and if I'm audible properly, kindly unmute yourself and say yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll go with the demo now. Okay, so
Yes,
I'll
sure,
switching the tabs.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so we'll do something called image project. Okay, so I am doing machine learning without coding. You should understand this. We'll be using something called teachable machine. You can try this on your own. It will not work on your phones, but it will work on laptop and desktop like that. Okay, but you need a camera. Okay, so I'll take something called image project. Okay, so this is what it is. So now I will, as Corona is there, I have a mask with you. So now I will train the machine learning model to detect whether somebody is wearing the mask or not. Okay, so that's the idea. So first thing is we'll say like without mask, or like we'll make it funny. Okay, so we'll put it as danger. Okay, so if somebody is without a mask, he is a danger person. Okay, so now he is like we'll say like we'll say good one. Okay, so this is a good person. You can go ahead with, or it's like I'll say like with mask. It will be easy for you. Okay, so if somebody is there with put mask, he will be called as danger. So I'll say like no mask in bracket also, so that you can understand. Okay, so then here with mask. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll turn on my webcam. Okay, so I'll add some images of me. What I'll do is I'll train it. Okay, sorry for the background, I am at farmhouse. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll hold my screen, I'll give my face a lot of samples to it in all directions. Okay, so it has to detect me in any angle. That's the point. Okay, so that is hard for in like in image processing. Okay, so I have taken 160 samples. This is enough. Okay, so if you are doing it for like a production purpose, kindly make it as 250 samples like that. The more samples, the better. Like that. Okay, so then I'll take now another sample with mask. Okay, so I'll just wear my mask now. So what I'll do is I'll open my webcam here. So these are the samples like without mask. Here are with mask. Okay, so I'll just hold it. So now you can see with mask. So I'll just take it as 100 samples. Okay, so what I'll do is now samples with mask and without mask are ready. Okay, so I have to train this model because it has to understand, it has to detect in every angle. That's the point. Okay, so I'll click on train model. So let's see what it does. It will take a few seconds because it has to train. It will use my computer resources. Okay, so as my computer is consumed by a lot of things, so it will take a few seconds to do that. So once training is done, we shall be able to do it. Okay, so it's starting. Okay, so what it says is do not switch tabs, so that I'll do it properly. Okay, so it will do it for 50 times. It will take each image and it will refine, it will take the points, it will hunt for the points in your images, and all those images will be processed, and it will apply some algorithm. So that algorithm will like help it to come up with a model. Okay, so what actually you are doing is here we give the data. Okay, so here you are applying, so then the model is trained. Okay, so now we can see now if we can able to see on the top, now I am without mask, it is saying danger like that. Okay, so you can apply the same model in any of the offices where it will show you like whenever somebody comes without a mask, it will beep like red alert, something like that. Okay, so I have taken 50 examples, like 15 iterations to do that. The more iterations, the better. Okay, so remember the URL. I'll share this in the PPT. You can give a try. So now you may be wondering what happens with mask. Okay, so let's see. See. So if I wear the mask, it is showing that I am with mask. That is with mask. Okay. So if I move in any direction also, it will show you. See. So even if it's small, like even if I hold my kerchief also, it will detect like that. Okay. So that's the idea. So this is called something called teachable machine. Okay. So this is the data we have taken. So we have trained a model. So now this is working. So you may be wondering what the hell, like, what's the use of this? Now the beauty here is you can see you have something called export model. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Okay. So in this teachable machine, you can see the code for you is given in JavaScript as well as P5.js. Okay, so you can use this code. You can use it anywhere where browser works with the camera. So you can easily implement it in Raspberry Pi, Arduino. You can use your laptop, your phone, anywhere. So you can use this TensorFlow models. You can use the Python code. You can use Android code. You can just dump it and have a working model of mask without mask model. Okay, so you can try with many examples. Like you can have in another class here with mask, without mask, maybe without mask, like that. Okay, so with red mask, with green mask, with sanitizer, without sanitizer, like that. So you can do that. So this is called teachable machine. Okay, I hope this was clear for you. Okay, so let me come over to my presentation again. Okay, so this is what we did. Okay, so we have another one. So this is a new experiment which I am doing today. Okay, so I'll be doing something called AI orchestra. It will be difficult. Bear with me. So I'll just close this teachable machine for now, so that it will not. Okay. So now I'll go ahead with AI orchestra. Okay, I'll just come over. Okay, so it's a AI experiment. So it takes a lot of time to load the music and all. So bear with me. In a minute, it will be ready for you. Okay, done. So what actually happens is, actually I have to move. So I look like a monkey now. That's okay for me. Okay, so I have to move my hands. If I move my hands, it will play the music like how orchestra is done. Okay, so I'll just say next. Okay, so it has to be like, I can say up and down. Based on that, music will happen. Okay, so I'm just standing over here. I'm just say let's go. Okay, so I'm standing before my camera with the hands. Okay, so it will be, this is a one person experiment. Only one person can do this right now. Okay. So if everything works fine, okay, so it will go to the next screen. Okay, so it is detecting that I am properly taking it. Okay, now the beauty is, you can see if I move my hands, the music happens. See, if I move my hands here, like they will play. If I move my hands on the left hand side, these guys will play. If I go down, the tempo will come down. If I go, it will become louder. Okay, so this is the idea. So it's very complicated experiment. So kindly try it on your own. I don't know whether it works on phone. Kindly try it out. It's very funny and beautiful, and even your kids or like small ones at your homes can play. So this is one experiment. It's also AI powered. Okay, so artificial intelligence models, like how teachable machine did that. Okay, so this is another one, something called Think Translator. So I found this out yesterday. Okay, so it's like a new try for you. Okay, so what actually happens is, when somebody travels in the foreign countries, what actually happens is, what it asks you is, organizers, I hope you can see my screen with my live video on it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, done. I'll go ahead. Okay, so what actually happens is, if I take a picture, it has to take the picture and identify what it is in the picture, then it has to translate it also. That's important. Okay, so I'll just take my face photo now. So I'll put my face in the frame. See, face. So in it is face in English, but in Spanish it is cara. Okay, so then I'll go to Hindi so that you can understand it easily, because we don't know whether it is fine or not, because we don't know Dutch, Korean, Japanese, like that. Okay, so let's go to Hindi. Okay, so for example, now I'll take a picture. So it has to say like something like, I think in Hindi, I'm not good at Hindi, but chehra, something like that. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll take a picture of face. It's saying chehra. Okay, so now I'll take something like, I'll take a photo of another one. So you can see like on the bottom also, it is saying how much confident it is. It has understood there is a forehead. Okay, so 99%, because I am forehead is visible. I have got hair also, I'm not bald, so 99% accuracy. Face is also there, like 99%. That's the idea. Okay. I hope you got it. You can play with this. Okay. So I'll just see whether it works fine with this wallet or something like that. So I just have to move ahead. What it got an eyebrow. Okay. So no problem. What it's saying is wall because it caught the wall behind me. Okay. So now I'll see whether it works with the room. Okay. So no problem. So I'll just try with my fingers. Let's see. Fingers. So in fingers, it's Hindi, it is called like ungli. Okay. So now the point is, this is very important. Like when somebody travels in the foreign countries. Okay. So it will be helpful for a lot of them, and it will be helpful for even Braille and all. Okay. So even I used to do this when I went to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a very difficult area to deal with. Okay. So using that teachable machine, I have done something like this. Okay. So you can see, I'll just open my code. Okay. So using teachable machine, I have made a model which will do something like whether it will detect whether somebody is a dog or cat. Okay. So right now I don't have any dogs or cats with me to try this. Okay. So I'll just show my face only, but we'll see how much of like it will understand. Okay. So you can try this out later at your home. Okay. So show your dog or like cat's face to them. Okay. Let's see whether a computer understands me as a dog or cat. Okay. So it's a funny experiment. Okay. I'm just waiting for the camera to get launched and the libraries to be get downloaded. So it's a experimental mode. It may take few seconds, something like that. Okay. So see, actually there is no cat and dog. Okay. But still, as I have got nose and mouth, it is getting confused between dog and cat. Okay. So you can see even dog is getting like being displayed more because my face preferences like match more with a dog than a cat. Okay. So it's a funny experiment. Okay. So don't get offended. Fine. So I'll move on. Okay. So next question comes is when to apply machine learning. So a lot of normal programming, what you do in colleges, schools, and wherever. Like, so they will solve a lot of problems. But when to apply machine learning? When simple rules don't apply. Okay. So they say, for example, biking, cycling. Okay, golf. Golf is new. Okay. So swimming is not like natural. So that is where like simple rules. You don't follow the simple rules in swimming. Somebody may swim upside down and like top also. Okay. Somebody may swim directly jump into the water. They also call it as swimming. So swimming is different for each person. So that's the point here. Okay. So walking, running, and biking will remain same for most of the people, whereas swimming it will become complicated, and even golf also it becomes complicated. That is where we have to apply machine learning. Okay. So what we need for AI? So first thing is we need resources, then we need tools and information. Three things. Okay. We'll see whether we have this. So first thing is resources, enough computing power. Right now we have observed that my laptop was able to do machine learning. That's enough computing power. Cheap hardware available in Raspberry Pi, Arduino, like that. Then we need human brains to understand what actually is going on and how to build models and all. To build AI models, you need human brains. That's mandatory. Okay. Then we need cloud. So the teachable machine which I used, it's a cloud itself. Okay. Then open source tools like TensorFlow and all open source tools. Then we have information, that is data. We have a lot of data. You don't need to worry about that because we have data from Facebook. We have a lot of Twitter stuffs. We have WhatsApp like chat data. We have images from anywhere. Like data is not an issue for these days. Okay. So then we comes the types of machine learning. Okay. We have something called three things: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So I'll make it simple for you. There are like complicated definitions for this. Let's understand in a simple way. What supervised learning says is train me. Okay. So there is a kid, it will tell you like train me. Okay. Then unsupervised learning. I am self-sufficient to train, like learn myself. You don't need to train. That is unsupervised. Then reinforcement, my life, my rules, like teenagers. Okay. So I'll just take a pause of 2 seconds. Okay, let's see how actually this supervised learning works. Okay, in supervised learning, what actually happens is you guide the kid. Okay, so you hold something. Okay, you guide the kid. Okay, so he will walk as you guide him. Okay, so this is very important. And the beauty of this is you know what you are doing, okay, and kid also knows what you are doing, and kid will not fall here because as you are supervising it, okay. Then you have something called unsupervised learning. What actually happens is kid does not wait for you. It will try to walk on its own. If it falls, it will understand that I fall, like this is not the way I should walk. Then again, it will try, again, it will learn. Okay. So unsupervised learning. Okay. Then reinforcement learning is, suppose if a kid walks, give a chocolate. Okay. So if a chocolate is given to that, it will understand, okay, fine. If I walk properly, he will give a chocolate. He will start to learn walk properly. It's like training a dog, I can say. Okay. So very, very simple, these three things, understand. When you know what you're doing, okay, so whatever, if everything is fine, then supervised learning. Okay. So here kid will not do any mistakes. Okay. Or very less mistakes. Here in unsupervised learning, kid will fall a lot. Okay. So it will hurt. Okay. So, but still it will learn on its own. So that is a beauty. In reinforcement learning, you need to give something to that. Okay, acha, if you do this, you are right. If you do this, like it's wrong, like that. Okay, so that's the idea. Then this is a slide. I can go through this later when I share it. Okay, so where to apply what? Unsupervised, supervised, and reinforcement. Say for example, if you are doing diagnostics, you have to go to supervised learning, then apply classification algorithm. If you are doing something called features, am I audible?
Sir, you're audible, sir. You're audible.
Okay, fine. So if I'm in feature illustration, like for example, if you are doing some visualization kind of thing, so if you have to use unsupervised learning. For example, if you are doing targeted marketing, how Google does that? What actually Google does here is they will use machine learning. In that they will go for unsupervised learning, then they will use clustering, then put it in a particular category that is called targeted marketing. So that's what point is. So then, for example, if you are using game and all, so they will use reinforcement learning. So for example, if you play a game, if you complete one level, they will unlock the next level. So based on how you play, they will keep on unlocking the things. They can use machine learning to get addicted to the game. That's what. Again, robot navigation also comes into reinforcement learning. Okay. Next comes this important question. That is, what if you don't know anything at all? Okay. So that is where unsupervised learning, unstructured data. The data is not proper. I don't know what actually I'm doing. We don't know anything at all. Okay. So then comes the deep learning. Okay. So this is called deep learning. So it's like, I'll give an analogy for this. What actually deep learning is? Unsupervised learning from data. Okay. Unstructured. It's also called deep neural network. We'll see now. What actually deep learning looks like is like this. Okay. So the person who has never seen a car in his life will not detect this as a car. You should understand this point. Okay. I hope this is clear. So the point here is, if a person knows a car, right now you are imagining this picture as car because you know already seen hundreds of cars. You know what car is. That's the reason you are detecting this car. Okay. So imagine, like there is a person has never seen a car, he will not be able to identify this as a car. This is what deep learning looks like. Let me give a simple analogy, and most of you are students also, it will be helpful for you also and even for the adults also. It's like dating lot of women to understand how woman behaves, or how to understand what women are. Okay, so I'm giving a very bad example, sorry for this. It's like dating lot of women. You will meet hundreds of women to understand what woman is. So then you will go and stick to one person. Okay, so yeah, like that's the reason, like, so if you look like at like some lame boys, they will like chat with every possible girl. They will understand what chatting is, then they will stick to one girl and they will apply those all those logic they have learned from the previous chats. Okay, so very wrong example, but that is how deep learning is. Okay, so then IoT, big data, and artificial intelligence, I'm giving a overall picture how actually it works in the real world. Okay, so all your images, video, sound, vibrations will come into this. Okay, so all the sensors, like your watch sensor, your mobile sensor, your proximity sensors, like your noise sensors. Okay, so all those sensors will come under this. All your files, text files, audio files, then all your databases, like what you have done with your project or something. So all this will come into the first section, that is the access data. Okay, then after you get the data, there will be a lot of data and you don't need it. Like you have to have only few data which is very important. See, for example, if you go for a trip, you'll take 100 pictures. out of 100 pictures, that is access data. You will take a lot of pictures, then you will analyze the pictures. So for example, all your friends will get together and will select only those photos which you like very important, like very good ones. Okay, so we'll exclude the bad ones. That is where you will do the analyze data. Okay, so we'll collect the data, then you'll analyze the data and you will exclude what is not important. Okay, then you will apply some artificial intelligence models, algorithms. Okay, so there are a lot of algorithms you can have. I have given the links in the description and references. You can go ahead, and that's unsupervised, supervised reinforcement. You can apply any of those algorithms based on the data. Okay, so once you do that, then you have to deploy it. Okay, so if I had to take the teachable machine example, first I gave my face data, then analyzed the data by training it, then AI model was developed, then I have the code for it, then I can deploy it to desktop, mobile, or any devices. You can put it in enterprise as well as embedded devices. That is not a point. Okay, so you can apply it anywhere. This part you can take care, not a problem. So this is a very difficult part. Okay, so this is the most easiest part because just getting the data is important. So then cutting off what is not necessary, again, a little bit tricky. So these two parts are important. Okay, so if the person is very highly paid, is because of this data scientists and all will come under here. Okay, so this machine learning model developers will come over here. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so then comes what AI deals with. Okay, so we have something called deep learning, predictive analysis. We have translations, speech to text, text to speech, robotics, vision, image recognition. These all will things will all merge together, and they are in a subset of artificial intelligence era. Okay, so whatever you are looking into these days in your phones, laptops, anywhere, AI is taking part in it. Okay, so you may not be knowing that. Okay, so you can take any sector, we can apply it. Okay, so these are all the sectors which has been listed by Government of India. You take any sector, that is where we can apply machine learning idea. Okay, so then comes agriculture. Okay, so I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's okay. Can clearly.
Yes. Is my audio very clear, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, so then in agriculture, what actually we do is we'll do something called AI based crop preferences. Okay, so I have a small video on the here YouTube video which classifies the cucumber based on the size, and we do it in our farmers like that. Okay, so once harvested, you can see vendors selling the vegetables, they will keep the good ones at one side, bad ones at one side, like that. Okay, so that can be done by machines. Okay, so this is a small example. I'll just play. I'll not play it in big mode. You can, I hope you can watch it. So what actually it does is, it's a prototype. Okay, it's not perfect. You may be thinking, how the hell like it will sort 10,000 of cucumbers in 1 minute? It's not possible. So right now it is a prototype. So what actually it does is, it will take the cucumber, it will analyze the length, width, and all. So it will check the quality based on the camera. Then it will dump in the right box. So this is how they are sorting in the agriculture. It has been implemented, but artificial intelligence will apply for all the cucumbers. So if you do straightforward programming, it will be applicable for only few cucumbers. Okay, so then comes AI self-driving cars. Okay, so this I spoke about it. Okay, so you can, there is a one best talk in TED that is called driverless cars by Chris Thompson. Okay, so you can go ahead and watch that like video, a TED video. So I have put it in the tail section. So I'm just focusing on the very important stuff, that is this one. So what actually happens is, you look at the society in a very different way. But there is, if you look in, if you're on a road, you will look at the, all everything is cars, lorries, something. No, computer will not look like that. Computer will see road like this. You can see everything is a box, everything is lines. So that means it will detect each and every lorry as a like some mark, some like box kind of thing. So based on that boxes, if they coincident, like it will understand, it will like hit an accident like that. Okay, so just watch this video, so that will be more clear. So how things become smart. Okay, so most of the things are like being sold now in market with the extra word called smart TV, smart watch, smart appliances, smart washing machines, like that. How they become smart is because of artificial intelligence or machine learning. They will embed that code, they will have that model. Okay, so based on some performance they will decide, so then they will call it as smart. Okay, so another point is, if they have to smoke, they have to be connected to internet. That's another factor. Okay, So that is how things become smart. Okay, so all our world is made up of things. Things when connected will like form IoT. Okay, so what actually IoT is all about is, see, all the world is made up of things. See, for example, I'll give you an example so that you can understand. This is a picture of smart urinals. Okay, so what actually happens is you have something called like when you go inside a washroom. Okay, whenever you give your performance, if you come back, okay, so what actually happens is when you come back, it has to flush. You can see in a lot of washrooms now automated flushing has been done. So what the problem with the automated flushing is, they will flush with the same amount of water. Okay, so that is where you are wasting the water. See, for example, if I go and stand before a urinal and if I don't pee, I just open my zip and come back. Or like I will just pretend that I'm not like I'll peeing, but I'll not pee like that. So if that happens, even that is also the case, the water will get flushed. That's the problem. So what actually happens is if we apply artificial intelligence to the smart urinals, what actually they will do is, in urine you have something called sodium content. The amount of smell that comes in the washrooms is because of that sodium content. So what actually happens is if I have smart toilets or like smart urinals, they will detect the sodium content. They will decide like how much time you have been staying there or like how long you have given your performance. So once that is decided, they will decide the amount of water to be flushed. If somebody stays for long, it will flush with a lot of water. If not, it will just flush it with a very very less water, like those kind of things. Okay, so that like IoT will come into picture here. So IoT will work very efficiently if powered by AI like that. Okay, so then finally I'm coming into challenges and dangers. Okay, so we'll see what are the challenges we'll be facing in AI. Okay, so the first thing is building trust. Okay, see, for example, if I have a self-driving car, if you have to buy it, okay, so I have to build your trust. I should make you feel like even if you sit in the back seat of the car, you will not die. So that building trust is very important, and 90% of the people will deny this. Okay, so for example, if you have an aeroplane, if it is autopilot, like those kind of features are there. If the pilot says I'll put my aeroplane in autopilot mode and sleep for a while, they will do that. You don't know that, trust me. I have one of the contacts like where he tells me the truths about this. So they have something called autopilot. What actually, if they are flying for 6 hours to something like that, once the plane comes in a particular altitude, they will enable that autopilot mode and the pilots will sleep there. So most of the people are like happily sleeping on the backside because they assume that the pilot is actually running the plane. It's not the case. They will be sleeping and the plane will like flying on its own. So this is how it should come for the cars on the road. Okay, so you are buying a car, you sit in the back seat, but you should trust your car so much that it will not get accidented. So it's a very huge issue. Most of the people deny this. Okay, so then we have something called software malfunction. You have seen some memes, I guess. Suppose if you have something called airplane is running, suddenly error pops up. That is, this car is waiting for an update and cannot be rebooted, something like that. Suddenly you're in deep shit. Okay, so that should not happen. Software malfunction should never happen. Okay, then can replace only certain tasks. Right now, artificial intelligence is not replacing everybody. So certain replacement has been done. For example, I'll give one particular example where technology will replace some particular jobs. Uh, Drones have replaced the people who were doing camera stuffs in like helicopters. So previously they were using helicopters with a person stick to it, and they were moving the helicopter. They were shooting the scene. Now that is being done by drone like that. So it can only certain tasks has been replaced, not all. Okay. So then we have high expectations, and people like me have very high expectations. I expect my phone to do everything. So for example, if I Google up a particular movie name, which is very rare, I expect my IMDb to trigger the YouTube and play the trailer also. So this is my expectation, very high expectations from the AI. Okay, so there are challenges we have right now. So then comes danger. Okay, so we have something called, you can try this out. I have given the link for you, so you can click this link and try it out. So you have something called Lyre Bird artificial intelligence. So this is a very danger which you are facing right now. So what actually happens is, if somebody wants to like make people believe that Narendra Modi is going to kill everybody, so that is a case. he has not said it anywhere. Like what he says is, I love my country, like my citizens are good, like that. The point here is, if somebody wants to defame Modi, they can use some artificial intelligence like this Larry Bird. It happened for Trump also. Okay, so you can Google like Larry Bird Trump, like that. You'll get it in Google. You can have that. Look at that. So what actually this Larry Bird does is, it will analyze your sound. You can try this out in the teachable machine also. There is a sound section also. So it will take your voice, it will analyze your voice, it will understand your voice. Next, when you type anything, it will take your voice. Okay, so it will reproduce the voice in a such a way that you have spoken it. Okay, imagine like I have not told my friend anything, like I just say like, are you fine, everything is fine, like that. Suddenly he has got a video or like audio of me where I'm speaking negative about me, about him, like that I'll be killing you next week, like that. So I have not spoken it, but they have taken my voice, analyzed it using artificial intelligence. They have recreated my voice so that he will understand, like he will believe that it's my voice only. Okay, so they can do that. This Larry Bird is that. Okay, so it's actually having some positive aspects. It has been invented for positive things, but it has been used for negative things. This is one particular example. See, for example, I'll give a simple example so that you can understand. If you have a knife was invented to cut vegetables and fruits, but now knife is also used for kill somebody. So this is how the example, the knife example for AI is Larry Bird. Okay, so then another interesting concept is self-killing cars. Imagine all the cars are on the road. Every possible car is a self-driving car. Somebody hacks from Russia, or like somebody hacks from China, and every car is being given instruction to accelerate to 100 kilometers per hour. No matter what, every car will jump the signals, and you are sitting on the like rear seat. You are not in full control. So then all self-driving cars will be named as self-suiciding cars, like that. Okay, so that's one negative aspect. So trust me, this will not happen. 99% I can assure that this will not happen. There are some policies and or regulations. They will take care of it, but there is a possibility. Okay. Then in future, like you will have drones monitoring farms and harvesting. Right now, I'm thinking about it. Like I want to buy a drone which will like thing will handle things. Then we have something called law enforcement, self-driving cars, text summarization in law. You can Google this up. I don't have time to explain this, but in law and all, there are a lot of like a delay in judgments because of this text summarization. Then you have automated RTI and all, like they will put. Now they can have something. You have something called toilet doctors in Japan. I don't know whether you heard about this. The moment you shit in the morning, it will analyze your like urinals and feces. Then it will send the report to the medical insurance as well as the hospital and book an appointment also. That's toilet doctors. Then you have something called officeless documents movement. So you have I have given the link in the references. One country named Estonia has already implemented that. You can try it out. And even automated citizen care is same example for that. Okay. So I'll move on. Then in future, you can apply it in defense, military, behavioral analysis, and Twitter, how people will behave in next coming 24 hours, like that. You can predict poverty. You can Google something like predicting poverty using artificial intelligence. So you can see how artificial intelligence can also solve the poverty. Okay. Then you have something called guided schooling. See, for example, right now, kids are doomed because kids has to learn painting, dancing, like he has to good in mathematics, he has to good in languages, everything. So that will doom him, and like he will be frustrated. And if you look at most of the kids, and if you ask them question, do you love the school, they will say like, I hate the school. Okay. The problem is like they have not been having guided schooling. So based on the attributes of the kid or like parents knowledge, we can have something called guided schooling by artificial intelligence, where it will guide him only in the things he is interested in. That will come in. Sorry, like our school was not like that, but in future this guided schooling will come for sure. So this is the next step. I'll just take a like pause of 1 second. Okay. So let's say something called visioning AI environment. What actually happens is this I experimented in long back in 1 or 2 years, where I have a vision for artificial intelligence environment. People loved it. Okay, so that's the reason I'm sharing with everybody. First thing is what actually happens in 2050. Okay, so I'm talking about 2050, something like that. Okay, so I may not be there and you may not be there. Okay, so like we'll see what actually happens in that time. So birth gets registered the moment baby comes out. Okay, so his Aadhaar insurance and names is suggested, like how your Gmail is suggested. So that is also suggested. Aadhaar insurance, everything will be ready for you. Then based on the location where you are and who to whom you are born, based on your parents' income, like that. School is also suggested. Then the moment you are in school, if you have a phone, there will be a notification comes that here is your best friend, go and meet him. That's it. So you don't need to talk to them, nothing. So it will also give you directions to where you have to go and meet your best friend also. Then once you complete your school, based on your location, college suggestion is also done based on your income, something like that. Then it will also suggest you who is your boyfriend and girlfriend also. Like go and meet him, like here is your boyfriend and girlfriend. Everything is prefaced, like how Canada matrimony and stuff, and like that you will have a boyfriend and girlfriend suggestion. Then based on your performance, previous performances, how many breakups you had, like it will also suggest what kind of job is suitable for it. Then it will like also tell you whom to marry, like it automatically notification will come. Okay, the here like you have been broke up with 4 girls, here you broke up with 4 guys, like okay, done, get married, like it will suggest based on some algorithm. Then it will also suggest you to when to have kids, like based on your financial condition, based on your like rapport with your wife, like so. So it will also tell you when to have. I'm not talking about how to have kids, remember, I'm talking when to have kids. Okay. Oh, hope you got it. Then I am talking about like then once you have kids and well, they will start from the loop one, the birth gets registered, then their life will start. Then you will have something called old age. Then when you get old, robot will be suggested which robot is best for you to assist and all, like which Asimo or something like that. So once your robot will assist you in your old age, then then what actually happens is when you are sick in the old age, suppose you fall on the like in your home. So what actually happens is you will have a smart band or like even robot is there. Robot will instant call the ambulance. Ambulance will come. So you are admitted to the hospital. Suddenly you are admitted to the hospital, like no doctors will treat you like something like that. Everything is done by machines. They will analyze you and they will decide like acha, this guy will be alive for only for next 2 or 3 hours or next one day, something like that. Then instantly once they will machines will understand that like you will be dead in 2 hours, they will give a call or send a signal to the cemetery based on your height and all, how to dig the pit, what is the size and all. So that will be there. So this is how you complete your life in your artificial intelligence. The only way they have to do is in your 2050 they have to live and enjoy their life. Okay, so everything will be done for you by artificial intelligence. So next the interesting thing comes, that is artificial intelligence God will come. Okay, so this is not very far from reality, but I hope like this that's what like I have very high expectations from a God also. So that's like I don't believe in God stuffs and all, but still I'm giving you idea. So a lot of people go and pray before the God and they will tell their story. Acha, this is my problem, solve it. Okay, take this coconut, take this like gift and all, like kindly solve my problem. The beauty here is you should understand, if AI powered God will come, it will analyze your text. Okay, so it will analyze your computer data, it will analyze your CCTV data, everything will be there. So it will understand whom you are fighting with, what is your problem and all. The moment you just go and stand before your computer phone, you will get a notification. Okay, this is the solution for your problem. Kindly pay 500 rupees to get the solution, like that. So that is God will know before you pray, AI God. Okay, so even that will not come in the near future. I am planning to implement that. Okay, so then if everything is done by machines, everything is controlled, where shall we go? Okay, so you should understand one of the key areas where machines cannot defeat us is creativity. So they cannot defend us in creativity. Even creative artificial intelligence model have come, but they are not very far from reality. So creativity makes us fine. So the only way is to embrace it. Okay, so we just have to embrace that. So then coming out in the implementation part, so for those people who are very computer science, so what you have to do is you have to if you want to do machine learning tools, okay, so teachable machine is one which I told you. Then if you are a beginner, you don't want to code, go ahead with Vika, Orange and H2O. So this graphical user interface, no typing code and all, you can just start with the machine learning. If you are intermediate, if you know some programming, you can start with the Python, JavaScript and TensorFlow. If you are like good with the scripting, then if you are research based, you can go ahead with R and MATLAB. Okay, so some recommended languages for you if you are getting into artificial intelligence, which I use. Okay, so the first thing is Python, JavaScript and R if you are into research. Okay. So tools you should know. So first thing is Teachable Machine. Teachable Machine almost does everything. Okay. Then you have Google Colabs. So if you are working online, you can go ahead and try the Google Colabs. If you are trying to work offline with our coding and all, try with Jupyter Notebook. Then TensorFlow and other libraries you should know. You can just Google it up. Okay. So these are things are mentioned in my references. So you can click and go ahead with the detail of it. Okay. So this is a like almost end of my presentation. So what I have done is actually I have just scratched the tip of the iceberg. Okay. So there is a whole lot below. Okay. So to learn machine learning and understand what it is in a very simple way, it took me around 6 months. It will take time, but eventually I hope this was helpful for you. Okay. So what actually I have to do next? That's also important. I'll share this presentation, go ahead with it, play with the artificial intelligence models. Okay, get started, build some small AI models with your kids, with your friends and all. So, and scale up now. Try to implement them in your laptop, mobile, something like that. Learn from failures because like see first model which I tried with nothing worked in it. Okay. So learn from the failures and get started. Okay. So think out of the box. Don't try to solve the problems in a very default way. Try to apply machine learning everywhere, wherever you see. For example, if your mom shouts, wherever your mom is coming, okay. So if your mom comes and wakes you up, you can have an artificial intelligence model where it will detect like how your mom may come, whether she is angry or something like that. You can take the pictures of your mom and have machine learning model which will detect how angry she is and it will notify you like that. Okay. So kindly like do not reinvent the bulbs itself. Okay. That's I hope this is enough for like 1 hour kind of that. Okay. So I'll take this sessions for questions for me. Okay. Thank you for listening. Okay. So these are all different blogs which I mentioned. Anvechani.com. If you want to learn about life and all, go ahead there. I'll try write about there. Okay. If you want blog on computer science, go to CS Bytes and all. So a lot of things are available there. If you are want to learn about me and myself and all, like even my ideas and all, go to pravinachan.com. Okay. So presentations will be also given link for you. So this is my contact number and email ID. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start asking.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation and also few hands-on training experiments. Now I would like to go with the interaction session, sir. So I'll hand over the session to Amish Shettar, sir. Sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
So go ahead. Sir.
Sir, the first question from the chat box is
Yes. Sir.
whether the AI and the IQ level is related to each other?
Like see the point is in AI we have something called neural networks. Okay, so what actually happens is we can measure the IQ of particular computer also, how efficient it is. So I'll just give you one particular reference so that you can understand. You have something called IBM Watson. I don't know whether you heard about it or not. Okay, I'll just
Yes, sir.
Google this up for you. Okay, so this is one of the computers which is having the highest IQ right now. So you have to Google for something called IBM Watson. So the like you can say like quiz also if you want to have some fun also. So IBM Watson quiz. You can just watch this. Okay. So there is a quiz called Jeopardy. Okay. So this quiz is one of the most toughest quizzes. It's not like your normal bullshit KBC like that. No, it's very difficult. See, for example, what actually the questions will be in this area is Alexander came to India. Alexander ruled this part of the country. Okay, so now tell me the wife of the Alexander, or like also tell me the like Alexander wife is this. Tell me the boyfriend of Alexander, Alexander's wife's boyfriend. So this is the questions will come in Jeopardy. So in this quiz, it will become very difficult for like people to answer. Like people will relate the things with each other and they will answer it. So this IBM Watson does that. IBM Watson will scan all the Wikipedia pages, they will interconnect it and they will get it. So the point here is, if the things are a lot of interconnected, then the IQ level of the computer will be very high. So like we measure IQ for human beings, for computers will not consider it a lot because anyhow computer will defeat the human beings IQ level. Okay, because it's like never get tired and all, and it will be always fresh, those kind of things. Okay, so I hope this was clear for you. You can just Google this up.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So the next question is, Can artificial intelligence used for general examinations of patients?
Can be done, sir. Like, see, right now, I don't know how people are blaming red. I'll take the situation of Corona itself so that you can understand. Right now, you can see government has sent a circular that you have to use the infrared thermometers, like so that like whenever somebody visits your shop, you have to scan him and whether he is having a fever or something like that. Okay, this is one of the bullshit idea. I'll tell you why. They will take a thermometer gun. Okay, so I hope you have seen this in your shops and all. Okay, so in big malls they will follow this. Okay, so they will have something called sanitizer, they will give that, and they will hold the camera, they hold the gun for you, thermometer gun, and they will hold it on your forehead and they will measure the temperature. See, what actually happens is this is not accurate. Okay, so in the hospitals and all, and recently my sister was admitted to STM hospital because of pregnancy. And interestingly, STM itself was having 4 corona cases on particular day. So they were wandering in the STM premises itself. The beauty here is what the stupidity they have done is they will scan them right at the entrance and they will let them flow. So we can have something like artificial model, which is something like Raspberry Pi. We can use some devices, cameras placed everywhere in the hospital. They will have something called like infrared thermal scans instead of direct scans, thermal scans. Based on the body's temperature of the particular person, they will recognize. Say, for example, if somebody is having a lot of fever, he will be termed in a very reddish way, whereas the person who is having a normal body temperature, he will be in the green. So this can be done. So you can just Google it up, like artificial intelligence for you can say artificial intelligence for scanning people in live. So this is done by Amazon. Okay, so you can just Google it up. Artificial intelligence, Amazon, Corona. You can just type this up. I hope this will come for you. So hope this was clear.
Okay, sir. Another question is, in your opinion, how will artificial intelligence impact on application development?
Very interesting question. I'll tell you. So application development, see, a lot of people are trying very hard to develop some applications. Okay, so what actually happens with the impact is, I'll give a real world example for you. Recently, I have a close association with one of the schools. I'm like a technical advisor for them. What they were is they were willing to buy a product from some third party company. Okay, so they were selling that product like which will manage the school and all. Okay, it was not AI powered, it is just a straightforward programming tool. Okay, so it will help them manage the schools and the assignments and all those kind of stuffs. He was charging some money. The point here is how application development will impact. Okay, the point here is they spoke to me. I said like, don't go with them, go with the Google Classroom. So the point here is they were like questioning me, why Google Classroom, why not like local vendor? I said like Google Classroom is based on AI development mode. The point here is Google will use the existing data to have some refined AI models where they will use them in the application development. Okay, so if the application development thing is happened backed by AI, they will have a streamlined, very fast flowing development mode. Whereas this default way of traditional programming will hiccup somewhere. Okay, so and even in future, there is a possibility that programmers can be replaced with AI, but it's very far from future, and we are expecting that by 2100. Okay, so we are not talking about 2050 also. So if the computer has to program itself, it will come in 2100, something like that. So it's very far from this. So the best example for this is, I hope you have watched this movie. There is something called iRobot. So if you watch this movie, here there is something called Wiki in the movie where it will self-program itself. So they will try like learn to program themselves. So this is where application development from human beings will be in trouble. Like computers will fix themselves, they will code themselves. They are not. There may not be need of application development from like human side. That's the point.
Okay, sir. And the last question is, can you explain the concept of IoT with examples, sir?
In relationship IA, sir.
IoTs.
Okay, no problem. So I'll just give a small example. That's urinal examples is one. So I'll just give you another clear example. I hope you can see like in weather forecasting. I'll just give a real world example. See, actually weather forecasting is done based on the clouds images and the precipitation monitors at particular centers. They have particular small devices which has been placed everywhere in the city, or like they will place it at some particular places. Okay. The point here is, if they use IoT, say for example, if they give me an Raspberry Pi device, which I can install in my like farm. Okay. So if that happens, they will have more input for the weather prediction. They will have more creature. So this, they have tried it. Okay. So right now they have been doing it. Okay. So in, I think in California, some city has done this. What they have done is, instead of taking care by the weather forecasting, each devices from the people, like your phone's data, as well as Raspberry Pi's data from smart homes and all, they will take the input from those devices, then they will take the data, then they will analyze it, then they will predict the weather. So this will be more predictable for your particular location. So this is a real world example of how they will use Raspberry IoT devices in the real world. Okay. So another smart example which I can take very commonly is smart TV. Okay. So I have one particular app called IFFT, like this is if this then that. Okay. So in that app, what actually I do is, I have connected my Google TV, Google Android TV with the internet. Okay. So then my smartphone is connected to the like my network. Okay. So what actually I do is, whenever I go home, I switch on the TV, then I'll play some songs. Okay. So the point here is, whenever I go, I'll do this manually. So I can automate this. How I automated this is, I have that app. So where it will take the input of the location. Once the location is detected, if I'm near to the house, instantly it will trigger the TV. TV will switch on. So once the TV is switched on, Spotify will open in the mobile. Spotify will Chromecast it to the TV. Then TV will play the songs. So this will happen meanwhile as I'm going towards my home. So this is how the real world applications of IoTs are. So
Okay.
this IoT device can be anything, like it can be your phone, it can be your TV, and even I have one Raspberry Pi particularly monitoring another stuff connected to the TV, like that. You can do this.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful information, sir.
Yes.
And there are some other questions which are present in the chat box. If the participants are interested, then they can go for the particular chat box. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Shetty sir. Now we came to the end of the session. I request Amit Navalgatti sir to propose the vote of thanks. Amit sir, over to you.
Thank you, Siddesh sir. Good afternoon to all. I am Amit Vikram Navalgatti, Department of Computer Science. Take the pleasure to convey the vote of thanks. It is my honor to offer my gratitude to Praveen Hanchinal sir for his informative and mind-blowing deliberation. Next, my special thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Uma V. Nerle madam, for her untiring support to arrange this webinar. I express gratitude to Mr. Mrityunjay Shettar, the convener and the HOD of Computer Science, for his on-time and valuable suggestions. And also, it's my privilege to thank the NAC IQAC coordinator, Shri SNME sir, for his precious guidance. I extend my hearty gratitude to all the faculty members of our college and the participants for active participation. Last, my every special thanks to all the members of the technical support team for their endless and untiring efforts they have put into make this webinar a success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Uma madam, you want to say
Yes,
something?
yes, Siddesh. Yeah. Praveen sir, thank you so much for wonderful and informative session. And it's the what we said, that in this pandemic situation, it is a need of our for the future generation. And you have highlighted so many aspects of AI and ML. And we are requesting from our science department that for any such or any such a national and international conferences, surely your help is required. And for the work also, we are requesting you to be with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. So it is the end of the session.
Thank you, everybody.
The feedback form, the feedback link is provided in the chat box. I request all the delegates to give the feedback in using the link itself. So the feedback link is provided there itself. Thank you, Praveen sir, once again.
Thank you, sir. I'll wind up now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I request all the participants to give the feedback because we are going to end the session in a while.